Hello and welcome. Today we're going to crack open a topic you probably think you know inside and out, the humble egg. But what if I told you that this everyday breakfast food holds some pretty amazing ancient secrets to health, to balance, and even to mental clarity? We are about to dive deep into the wisdom that's been hiding inside this perfect little object all along.
So, let's kick things off with this incredible idea from the famous Ming Dynasty physician Li Shizan. You see, he didn't just see the egg as food. To him, it was a complete, balanced universe all in miniature. Honestly, if you can wrap your head around this one quote, you're going to unlock everything else that follows.
And look, this wasn't just some pretty poetic idea. This concept of balance, this tiny self-contained world of heaven and earth, is the absolute foundation for understanding the egg's power in traditional Chinese medicine. So here's how that whole philosophy actually breaks down. You've got the egg white, which represents heaven. It's got clear energy, or qi, and it's slightly cool in nature. Then, on the other hand, you have the yolk, which is earth. It has a denser qi, and it's warm. It's this perfect dance of opposing forces, right? A total harmony of yin and yang. And that's exactly what makes the egg such a uniquely balanced remedy. Okay, so that's the theory, the big idea. But now let's get into the good stuff. How does this ancient philosophy actually translate into practical remedies for some very, very modern problems? So let me ask you, are you feeling anxious during the day? Can you just not shut your brain off at night when you're trying to get some sleep? Well, according to our source, ancient wisdom has a surprisingly simple suggestion for this. And here it is. It's as simple as a steamed egg for dinner. It's said that this can calm the heart and soothe the body's systems, helping you get some really restful sleep. The source actually describes a dish that sounds a lot like a Japanese chawanmushi, that silky, savory egg custard. Turns out, it's not just delicious, it's seen as a seriously effective way to ease your mind before you go to bed. Now, what if you're feeling a bit weak, or maybe noticing some signs of premature aging? Well, there's another fascinating recipe for that. It involves boiling eggs with an herb called Shou Wu. It's this really interesting process where you boil them, carefully peel off the shells, and then you put them back in to simmer some more. The idea is to let all the herb's properties infuse right into the egg. It's meant to restore vitality, and people even believed it could help darken your hair. Okay, so while the whole egg is incredible, the source material really zeroes in on the yolk. This is where the most concentrated, potent healing potential is locked away. And the range of benefits that they talk about is, well, it's remarkable. We're talking about boosting brain function, sharpening your memory, rapidly healing skin wounds, even treating stubborn skin conditions and helping to clear blood vessels. I mean, that is a ton of power packed into that little yellow sphere. So how do you unlock all this power? It comes from a special preparation called egg yolk oil. Now, it might sound complicated, but it's actually made just by heating cooked yolks in a pan very, very slowly until they start to char and release this natural, concentrated oil. That oil, that's the key elixir. And this oil is just incredibly versatile. If you take it internally, its lecithin is said to help clear blood vessels in the brain, which can improve your memory. The source even tells this powerful story about a patient who had 20 years of brain fog, and they found clarity in just a few days of taking it. And then, applied topically, it can speed up wound healing and treat all sorts of skin issues, from psoriasis to what the ancients used to call smelly sores on the feet. So, this all sounds incredible, right? But how do we actually apply this wisdom today? Well, first things first, we have got to bust a major modern myth that might be holding you back from enjoying eggs in the first place. Okay, the big one, the cholesterol question. Does eating eggs raise your cholesterol? The source is super clear on this, quoting a physiology professor who just flat out says, actually no. The whole argument is that this fear is kind of misplaced because the egg itself contains compounds like lecithin and oils that can help clear cholesterol out of your system. But, and this is a really, really important but for us today, while cooked eggs are fantastic, you have got to avoid eating them raw. The reason is this protein found only in raw egg whites called antiovedin. What it does is it binds to a B vitamin called biotin and basically stops your body from being able to absorb. And trust me, this is not a minor thing. If you're consuming raw eggs regularly, this can lead to a real biotin deficiency. And you notice the symptoms. We're talking about things like hair loss, muscle pain, and dry, flaky skin. So the takeaway here is super simple. Always, always cook your eggs. All right, now for a wonderfully practical and kind of surprising tip I found in the source. A single boiled egg can actually help reduce frequent urination. The text specifically mentions this as a great little trick for brides who have a long day ahead in a complicated dress and, want to avoid constant trips to the bathroom. And that brings us to our last piece of wisdom, and this one's a bit more philosophical, a bit more profound. There's an ancient warning against stepping on eggshells. And it wasn't just about being tidy. It was seen as a sign of disrespect for this amazing object, and it was believed to have consequences, like causing skin conditions. It really just speaks to a deeper philosophy of respecting all things. And that really leaves us with this one final powerful question. If something as simple and as everyday as an egg can hold this much wisdom and this much potential, well, what other everyday items are we completely underestimating? What other secrets are hiding out there, in plain sight, just waiting for us to pay attention?